Hi, my name is Sasha Moore, and I'm here with Anthony Landahl from Equilibria Finance, who has kindly offered to be in the hot seat and, in his words just now, let it rip about how he has embraced risk, which is the topic of our upcoming webinar on the 19th of August. And Anthony immediately came to mind to have a chat with because I've really admired how he's taken the risk to start his brokerage, but not only that, the risks that he takes on a very daily basis in terms of fostering his brokerage's growth and success. So, Anthony, I'm going to throw to you with three very loaded questions that you can answer in any particular order. First of all, where have you taken risk? How has it paid off? And what impact have you created? So over to you.
All right. Thanks, Sasha. And yeah, happy to comment. It's an interesting angle and an interesting topic. Makes you think a little bit differently about what you're doing and how you're managing your business. But I guess when I reflect on my business as a broker, probably the first risk I took was starting the business, going from a well-paid salaried role, not having a client, never written a loan before, not being in the industry, stepping out and taking the risk of, okay, I'll back myself to start my business. And that was 7 years ago. And
can I just pause there? What made you decide to actually do that?
Look, I guess I was at the stage where I either keep what I'm doing, I work my way up as a general manager in financial services, or go, you know what, I'm going to get out there and give it a crack on my own. And I suppose I was at the stage of my life, if I didn't do it then, I was probably not going to do it or not have the same energy and drive. So it took some time to work through that decision, and then stepping over that line of, suddenly you're not earning $1. You have to generate your own income. I'd never written a mortgage, didn't have a client, didn't have a referral partner. I guess I just backed myself to have a go, and I had a business management background. So I thought, I've got the disciplines to run a business. I just need to learn the trade now of broking. So not everyone has that appetite, but I had that, I guess. I guess I had that appetite to give it a go to run my own business.
So
I guess in
fast
terms
forward.
of, hey.
I was just saying, so fast forward. So you dipped your toe in the water, and then you've like dived into the deep end.
Yeah, so I've always sort of taken the attitude of trying to grow a business rather than just be a practitioner. I think broking's more and more going that way. And in the context of risk and what we're talking about, I guess what I've continued to do is invest in the future of the business, invest in growth. The first broker I brought on, still with me today, was after about 12 months. It was too early for him. It was too early for me. But it was a risk we both took. I'm restructuring the business at the moment. You can probably see all that mumbo jumbo on my whiteboard. I'm working on restructuring the business for the future, for growth in a time, I guess, that might be a little bit counterintuitive with where the market's at, with some of the economics out there. But I'm always looking at investing before maybe you're quite ready to grow into your investment. So that in itself can be a risk, because you're putting yourself out there in terms of your cash flow, in terms of your investment, maybe some short-term pain, I guess, for longer-term gain, for longer-term growth and longer-term stability of the business. So I guess in a sense that could be perceived as taking some element of risk, because you're not quite sure of the outcome. Is it going to work? Have you got the right people? Have you got the right infrastructure to manage that investment and growth? So that's always been the way I've done it. I've managed a lot of that risk through understanding some of the shortcomings, understanding some of the risks and threats around that. But I've always stepped over that line and ultimately said, hey, let's keep investing in growth, walking forward, rather than treading water.
And I think that's really admirable. And we've known each other a long time, and I remember when you first started to adopt that strategy of investing in growth before the distribution, which is quite, you're right, it does seem counterintuitive, but it really stuck with me, because I thought it is a smart way to do it, to then have the resources before you have that that pipeline extension, but it's a very bold move to do it that way. So in terms of why you've decided to do that and how you've structured that, can you provide some insight in terms of how you're identifying growth areas, and therefore when you're planning the resource to manage that forecasted growth?
Yeah, it's the way I describe it, just to touch on what you said, was, yeah, there have been some times where I've said, shit, you just got to hold your nerve, mate, because you're sort of putting yourself out there and you haven't got the payback for that yet. But I guess in terms of that, I've always had the view um, um, to sort of build it as you want it to look for. A big risk in a business on the flip side is it becomes reliant on one individual, and often that's the business owner. And to de-risk that, you need the infrastructure, you need the resources, you need the team around you. So the business isn't fully reliant on the business owner. And it's a problem in all industries, and mortgage broking is not alone for as a small business. So I've always tried to build a business as distinct from an enterprise that just revolves around me, or you know, a single person entity that is fully reliant on the business owner being there all the time. And that takes an element of risk out of the long-term planning, takes an element of risk out of the business longer term. But those decisions on the way through aren't easy around how do you structure that? Who are the right resources? How do you find those resources? What's my role as a business owner and as a mortgage broker? Am I running the business? Am I still a practitioner within the business? What do I enjoy doing? And making sure that within the business, whatever my role is, I'm part of the team in that role, separate to my role as a business owner. So it's really identifying as a business owner what you want out of your business, and also de-risking as you grow the reliance on the business revolving fully around you. And now I'm in the middle of that journey, which can be nerve-wracking at times because you're making decisions, you're putting new team members on, you're investing in what you want it to look like. But it's sort of each day you're taking steps each day that reflect that bigger picture. But you're sort of on that journey. So I'm mid-stride with that vision of having a business that's not fully reliant on me as the owner, that gives me the options and the flexibility around personal and professional life, as well as a self-sustaining business, which is good for my clients, good for my team, and ultimately good for where we're heading as an industry, to keep having good, sustainable businesses.
No, that's fantastic. And I think that you raise a really interesting point, that in order to, like, we might, like, as an outsider, I might look at it as, you know, a high risk strategy and be intrigued by that, but it's actually, to your point, a de-risk strategy. So you're almost having this juxtaposition, you're de-risking the business to then allow you to take bigger risks by not having the sole focus rely on you, which I would imagine a lot of business owners could relate to, whether they're in financial services or not. So I think the insight that I definitely have from you, Anthony, is to really to back yourself. I noticed on your whiteboard you've got hard work creates luck. I think I might disagree with that somehow. You know, whilst that's wonderful, I think it's more, you know, backing yourself, having that tenacity, having that forward vision, but also looking at de-risking the business in order to take greater risks to facilitate growth would be my key insight from you. So thank you so much for your thoughts. Always wonderful to catch up with you, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the webinar on the 19th.
No worries at all.
Thank you.